I think it's definitely.
This is the Living Arts Call, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sunday morning, and it's about 11:30. This call is half hour into it. Big announcement about April 18th and the stinking event down in San Diego. But here's Steve and the Living Arts crew. Here we go.
Unfortunately, nobody can connect with Steve anymore, which is unfortunate. But I got to tell you that the energy that man put out at summits was beyond superlative. He was just a brilliant genius that was taken away from us way too soon when it wasn't necessary. There were things that could have been done if we had the technology to do it, and the technology is out there. It exists, and it's being repressed militantly.
And we're the answer.
Which in itself is a form of violence. That's a form of initiatory force.
It is.
But it is dwindling. It is dying down. Yes.
Thank God. Anyway, listen, we're going to get on with the rest of the call.
Do what you got to do. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, please stick around. I'm going to leave your mic open.
Cool.
So that if you want to jump in and chime in on anything, please feel free. But
cool.
I really want to get to the major part of our call because I have to leave at 3:30 to go to work.
Go. Do what you got to do. Yeah. I appreciate it, guys.
Okay. All right. Well, let's again. Thank you so much, Sage. That's just wonderful news and information.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
I agree.
So let's go talk to Tiani Vu and get a couple poems off this guy because he's our poet laureate. How are you, Tiani Vu?
I'm fine. How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
We're good now that we're with the family. We're good now.
Yeah, that was some good information there. I wish I was in a position to participate. However, in the future, when my finances get right and I have enough time to do it, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to make it. But that's good. People can get together in a major clubhouse type of atmosphere, and the clubhouse geniuses can get together with the geniuses that are already out there doing something. Yeah, it must be really nice. Yeah. Okay. That's what I like about the future. It always has something good to give you, no matter how gloomy the person might be.
Yeah.
And like they say, in this too shall pass. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank God.
Okay. Yeah. Well, my name is, let me introduce myself so I can be like a professional again. My name is Tiani Vu, and it's Swahili for the bringer of light, and I chose that name when I was a teenager because I needed a path, and it leapt out to me out of this book, so I tried to incorporate it and be it at the same time, and it's shown me some things about myself I didn't know I had. So that's what Tiani Vu means, and the light that I'm talking about is the light of understanding, comprehension, and compassion. And I try to bring that out in my poetry instead of having people listen to poetry that's all gloomy this and gloomy that and oh woe is me and why did she break my heart type of stuff. And by the way, bring back my dog before I drink myself to death, that kind of thing, So I'm not into that kind of stuff. However, you can go to tianyvu.com, that's TIANYVU.com, and open up some of the books and check out my poetry. Hopefully, I can change the poems into songs and put some music behind them. That's my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
These are audiobooks. And with some visualizing things behind it, too. So it would be like a movie. You go to the movie, you see the poetry, and you hear it. That's my ultimate goal, to make it like that. However, if I can sell a few poems as songs on the way and make a few $1 million, that's okay, too. Okay. All right. Let's get this party is for Elaine, since I haven't heard from her in such a long time, and I don't have anybody's number since I lost about 2 or 3 phones. You all have to email, you have to send me your phone number through the computer system, things like that. This one is for Elaine, this one is called Elaine's Portal. And this is in book 2. And I think I came up with this when I was, I was still here in Tallahassee. So I don't know where I came up with it, if that's the case. All right. It goes like this. As she sits and contemplates the way of the day, gazing out through her window, the glass shimmers and vibrates. The shift from plain glass to a magical portal. There, the land shifts and undulates to something she can relate to as being non-temporary. The trees slowly morph into mobile beings, no longer in the same place that they used to be. The blue jays shift to black jays and back to blue in the morning to start their transitions anew. Rainy days shift to sunny days, and the sun becomes a morning star at night. If you were to gaze through the haze of the portal, you would see reality flow with your mood, and your temperament would be its food to nourish in the most natural way. Peace and contentment are on the other side, where if you let it, your soul will glide on currents of the imagination. So when and if you have a chance to gaze through the haze of Elaine's portal, remember the peace that comes with an open mind and not an open window. Okay, that's for you, Elaine. Let you get that. All right. Okay, let me see what I got here. This one is called, I haven't read this one in a long time. And the frame of mind that I was in when I wrote this, I had to be out in the woods somewhere, or by the pond or something like that when I wrote it. And it goes like this. It's called I Am Like. Deep in the center of the world, where the nucleus of Mother Earth closest resembles the sun, where molten metal is the most concentrated by thousands of degrees, the earth breathes its original breath, the breath of life. I am like that. Moving up through the layers of evolution, becoming cooler and hotter. I am like that. On the bottom of the deepest ocean, where the pressure is the greatest, where the most myriad and fragile creatures live in deep awareness. I am like that. Rising upwards, the currents move with endless motion in the ocean. I am like that. On the surface of the land, my life-giving hands plant the seeds of many beautiful life forms that dwell in their natural peace. I am like that. In the sky, so high, where the birds fly, the insects propagate so they can relate to each other. I am like that. The magnetic particles around the planet coalesce and intermingle to create a flexible shield around us, a field of protection that aids in the deflection of inharmonious radiations and lets in the harmonious vibrations of life-giving energies from the sun and the stars. I am like that. The relationships of the planets to the sun is how they orbit our movement of planetary fun, like a cosmic merry-go-round, day and night, wakefulness and sleep on a solar system level. I am like that. The swirling circular vortex and the dimension-breaking spiral whose motion is supreme, inherent in all flaws. I am like that. The emanations from seemingly fixed stars that are really in motion, that flow through the earth, and all there is. I am like that. The cause and effects that manifest themselves to us, that bring us in touch, in tune in synchronicity. I am like that, and that's a subtle fact. The fact that I simply am. All right.
Like that.
Yes, you are, brother.
Yeah.
I got another one. This will be the last one because we press the time.
Okay.
All right. This one is called The Soul of the Land. And this is for the ladies. The oldest soul is land. And way back when the earth was formed, its soul was being born, super hot and very steamy. She was then like women are now. Volcanoes spew the blood of Mother Earth high into the sky like molten fireworks that dazzle the eye. The air was volatile and dense with red and yellow sulfur clouds. As the flowing lava poured over her and created more land that was eerily bland. As she heaved and breathed her first prehistoric breath, her attitude was imbued with water, and as she cooled down, the ground became more stable, and then she was able to support life in its most myriad forms, and eternal life was born. Incredible beings were pulled to her fertile mass of a planetary body, some compatible, some not, because it was still awfully hot. It touched down on a spot of her rugged surface. While in the warm oceans, Leviathan floated through the ultra-deep blue seas over low spaces, living under pressure in the darkest places. As the air started to cool down, there were enormous flying creatures to be found gliding on updrafts that had hot sparks permeating black clouds of volcanic breath. And on those fantastic creatures of enormous breath, as the green plants showed their stamp in the seas, their seeds and spores made landfall there in the rarefied air. They grew tall and thick with rich sap that would trap insects while they slept and entomb them for all time to be discovered in future archaeological finds. Slowly, many different life forms came and went and left their mark in the ancient rock of ages. The soul of the land has very big hands that hold the seeds of creation to be planted and create new nations that evolve and devolve according to their deeds. So pay heed to the soul of the land, the oldest woman in our solar system. Now you know why women are the way they are. And as men, we must be their shining stars. That's my first.
Oh, yeah.
How you like me now?
Awesome as usual, brother.
Yes.
Awesome as
Very
usual.
catchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the poems speak for themselves, you know.
Yeah, they do.
All righty. Thank you, brother. As usual,
right.
you are marvelous and thoughtful, and the feeling is just always astounding. I always get lost in your words. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of these days I'll be, on stage and have the big speakers and all the special effects, and maybe just one time we'll be around the campfire. Who knows?
Oh, looking forward to it. That'd be awesome. Awesome.
All of that stuff. All right. Okay, so Lavender, are you ready to do your thing, honey?
Yeah, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready.
All right, let me mute people out here so you can get going.
Okay.
Come on. Thank you. All right, we're ready to go.
Okay. Because I can. And I really, really, really do want to. I'm going to read more from Medical Medium. Life-changing foods. Save yourself and the ones you love with the hidden healing powers of fruits and vegetables by Anthony William and his partner, the Spirit of Compassion. Yes, indeedy. Today we're talking about onions. One of my most favorite foods. Leeks, chives, ramps, scallions, red onions, yellow onions, white onions, shallots, and any other type of alum you enjoy are nature's antibiotics. Unfortunately, people don't eat a high volume of onions. Maybe just a wedge in soup once a month or a slice once a week on top of salad. To truly benefit from onions' antibacterial qualities, we have to make them more central to our lives. Some people complain of digestive distress when they eat onions. Contrary to popular belief, though, onions are not irritants. Rather, they're highly medicinal. An upset stomach from onions is an indication that someone has an elevated level of unproductive bacteria in the digestive tract. The onions are working to eliminate that bacteria, and the resulting die-off can translate to temporary discomfort. One particular condition that many people deal with these days is SIBO, which is largely a mystery to the medical field. What's usually responsible for this small intestinal bacteria overgrowth are Streptococcus A and B, various strains of E. coli, C. difficile, H. pylori, Staphylococcus, and or different varieties of fungus, excluding Candida, the natural fungus that we need to survive. Onions are one of the most accomplished foods on the planet for keeping down bacterial overgrowth in the body, making them a star for anyone who deals with SIBO. This quality also enhances the body's production of B12. If you avoid onions because of a sensitive digestive tract, try adding them back into your diet in very small amounts at first. Over time, their cleansing effect will enable you to tolerate larger servings of them. We'd all do well to make friends with onions. The sulfur they contain, including the phytochemical allicin, other sulfur compounds that haven't yet been uncovered in research, is part of what makes onions nature's antibiotic. It's also responsible for ridding the body of radiation exposure, casting out viruses, and drawing out DDT and other pesticides, herbicides, and toxic heavy metals. The sulfur in onions makes them wonderful for alleviating joint pain, degeneration, discomfort, and for repairing tendons and connective tissue. If you have an iron deficiency, hang on a sec, my thing just went off. Hang on. My Kindle just went crazy. Hang on a second. Got to get her back on. Thank you. Here we go. Whoop. Here we're back. Okay.
The Sunday Living Arts call is so different than all the other calls. I enjoy the way this call is orchestrated. It's so nice to hear. You don't hear all the nonsense that you hear on Thursday night or anything.
We all do well to make friends with onions. The sulfur they contain, including the phytochemical allicin, other argan, sulfur compounds that haven't yet been uncovered in research is part of what makes onions nature's antibiotic. It's also responsible for ridding the body of radiation exposure, casting out viruses, and drawing out DDT and other pesticides, herbicides, and toxic heavy metals. The sulfur in onions makes them wonderful for alleviating joint pain, degeneration, discomfort, and for repairing tendons and connective tissue. If you have an iron deficiency, onions are also very helpful because their sulfur content slows iron loss. High in the trace minerals zinc, manganese, iodine, and selenium, onions help rejuvenate the skin and protect the lungs. If you'd like your skin to look younger, it's a great idea to eat onions daily. Same goes if you used to be a smoker and you'd like to repair some of that damage to your lungs. Onions are very helpful for addressing colds and flus that cause bronchitis and for bacteria-caused pneumonia. They're also the ultimate anti-inflammatories for the bowels, helping to heal ulcers, eliminate mucus from the stool, and soothe the intestinal tract. In old folklore, garlic was used to keep ghosts and ghouls away. Onions should share a similar reputation for keeping pathogenic ghouls away. Making them part of your diet will give you a powerful immune boost and safeguard against the pathogenic world. The next time you go out to buy cough syrup or decongestant, pick up a few different types of onions at the same time. Though they may not be in the same aisle, onions truly are medicine. Conditions. If you have any of the following conditions, try bringing onions into your life. Gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD, asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, emphysema, breast cancer, bone cancer, ear infections, influenza, conjunctivitis, styes, hypertension, leukemia, migraines, prostate cancer, ringworm, staph infections, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, SIBO, halitosis, Lyme disease, liver disease, fatty liver, herpes simplex 1, 2, 6, 7, and the undiscovered 10, 11, and 12. Urinary tract infections, UTIs, colds, Epstein-Barr virus, EBV, yeast infections. Symptoms. If you have any of the following symptoms, try bringing onions into your life. Bad breath, heartburn, canker sores, iron deficiency, joint inflammation, tendon inflammation, particularly Achilles inflammation, eye issues, cold hands and feet, scars, snoring, joint pain, joint discomfort, shortness of breath. All neurological symptoms including tingles, numbness, poor circulation, spasms, twitches, nerve pain, and tightness of the chest. Restless leg syndrome, gastritis, body stiffness, body aches and pains, dizziness, dry skin, enlarged spleen, hot flashes, inflammation, jaw pain, knee pain, tremors, weakness, mineral deficiencies, emotional support. When you're dealing with chronic frustration, anger, and aggravation, whether toward other people, events, or yourself, it's critical to bring onions into your routine. Onions purge anger from the body, helping to loosen up resentment, fury, vexation, and disappointment so you can be free to live your life. Spiritual lesson. Onions are wrongly blamed for bad breath. In fact, the opposite is true. Onions help alleviate bad breath. What's really responsible for halitosis is unproductive bacteria in the gut that rises up to the mouth. Because onions are antibacterial, they help combat this problem so that your breath becomes sweeter smelling over time. Right after you eat an onion, there may be a lingering scent. This is just the onion's natural sulfur and a sign that it's doing its job. While we focus on different toothpaste, mouthwashes, and breath mints as the answer for halitosis and scorn the onion as the enemy, it's really our savior. Have you ever seen this phenomenon take place in your life where someone who worked hard to alleviate a problem mistakenly got the blame for creating the issue? It happens so often from a supervisor at work whom employees disrespect, even though that supervisor is saving their jobs. To a parent who gets flack from a child for pointing out a mistake on homework, when learning the right answer will be a key to the child's success that semester. The next time you're in a situation where you're quick to point a finger, keep in mind the plight of the onion and take a moment to analyze every angle. Tips. First one, avoid the tip you'll hear out there to rinse or soak onions to make them less pungent. This technique lowers onions' potency because it dilutes the medicinal properties that kill off bacteria and boost your immune system to keep you healthy. Next one. Whenever you eat a food that you know isn't a healthy choice, incorporate some onions to counteract the detrimental effects. This doesn't mean you should order a plate of onion rings dipped in bad batter and fried in bad oil. Onion rings are not advisable. Rather, if you're eating a hot dog, pile some chopped raw onion on top. Next one. When you're eating out at restaurants and are concerned about picking up flu viruses or food poisoning or neurovirus, order something with onions. For example, if you order a salad, get it with onion to kill off any contaminants. Next one. When picking out onions at the market, make sure each onion is firm and doesn't cave in when you squeeze it. avoid onions that are sprouting new green tips. This is different from buying a fresh picked onion with its greens still attached. Those onion greens are very beneficial. Next one. Experiment with different varieties of onions in different dishes. Try chives in guacamole, scallions in hummus, red onions in salads and stir fries, leeks in soups, or try steamed yellow or white onions. Next one. If you're dealing with sinus congestion, cold, or flu, try placing chopped onion in a bowl of warm to hot water, draping a towel over your head and the bowl, and inhaling. This is a great technique for breaking up mucus and loosening congestion. Next one. If you get chilly easily, have difficulty warming up, always have to wear a sweater, and or struggle with cold hands and feet, try to incorporate onions into your daily routine to increase circulation. Oh, here's a really awesome recipe called onions stuffed with mashed potatoes and mushrooms. Makes 4 to 6 servings. These beautiful baked onions look like a restaurant quality dish and are surprisingly easy to make. They look stunning on any dinner table and worthy of any party occasion. If you don't enjoy mushrooms, feel free to get creative and substitute the sautéed vegetable of your choice. So, take 8 large onions, 8 cups diced potatoes, 2 teaspoons olive oil, 1/2 teaspoon fresh rosemary leaves, 8 cups chopped mushrooms, 2 garlic cloves minced, 1 teaspoon sea salt, 1 teaspoon poultry seasoning, and 2 tablespoons pine nuts. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Prep the onions by cutting off the top quarter of each. On the opposite end of each onion, cut off the root so that the onion can rest on a flat surface. Do not peel. Place the onions in a large baking dish and add an inch of water. Bake until the onions are cooked through, checking periodically, 45 to 60 minutes. Onions are done when they are soft and fragrant. Remove from the oven and allow to cool. Peel the onions, then carefully remove the inner layers using a fork until only 2 layers remain, forming a cup. Reserve the insides of the onions for later use. Now, fill a large sauté pan with an inch of water and bring to a boil. Place the potatoes in the pan, cover and steam for 15 to 20 minutes or until tender, stirring occasionally and adding more water if needed to prevent sticking. Place the potatoes in a food processor with 1 teaspoon of olive oil and 1/2 teaspoon of rosemary leaves. Process until the potatoes are smooth and set aside. For the mushroom filling, saute the mushrooms and garlic in 1 teaspoon of olive oil until the mushrooms are tender and juicy, adding water as needed to prevent sticking. Transfer all but 1 cup of the sauteed mushrooms to a food processor with 1 teaspoon sea salt, 1 teaspoon poultry seasoning, and 2 cups of the reserved onion. Process until the mixture is roughly combined. onion cups with alternating layers of mushroom filling and mashed potatoes. Top with sauteed mushrooms and pine nuts. Serve and enjoy. Oh man, they look delicious. They look awesome. It looks like a gourmet cook did this. It's beautiful. Okay, we're done with onions, and next week we will start with potatoes.
That is just awesome.
Isn't it though? Yes. Sorry about that breakdown. My Kindle went dark on me all of a sudden. That's where I'm reading this from, and it just took away everything, and I had to wait for it to come back.
Yeah.
That was so weird.
Hooray for technology.
Yes, it's the first time it does. What? I almost heard me say, "What the? Where'd you go?" What? I'm looking at a blank screen. Dang.
I hate it when stuff like that happens. Anyway, onions are. If you have any of those gastrointestinal problems, I'll tell you what. Onions are the best laxative in the universe. And for me, they're instant.
Wow. So when you're eating an onion, you're close to the bathroom? You're at home?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep.
You love onions, right? You love them, right?
I do. I adore onions. I mean,
yeah.
How can you make anything like a soup or
yeah.
like a steak or
anything.
a roast or New England boiled dinner or any of that? How can you make any of that without onions? It's not possible.
Nope. No,
So,
it's not.
yeah, I eat a lot of onions.
Me
but
too.
the raw onions are especially useful for cleaning out your intestinal tract.
Now, is that all raw onions, or only certain kinds, like red or white or whatever? Or is it every
pretty
kind
much
of
any,
shallots,
even shallots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Shallots. One of my favorite things to do when I was, feeling like maybe constipated or something, was I would go out in the yard because they grow wild all over the place, and pick a whole pile of chives.
Okay.
And bring the chives in, chop them all up, put them in like some hummus or even put it in like cottage cheese or something. A big huge pile of chives, and that works really well too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the sulfur in the raw onions at that state that causes that for you.
I think so. Yeah.
And the sulfur is different when it's cooked. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it does. Makes a lot of sense. All right. Okay, so wonderful news, wonderful information that you give us like every friggin' week. It's just awesome. I can't explain how awesome that is.
My joy and pleasure. It's awesome for me.
We learn something new from it every week, and it's all real incredibly useful ideas and thoughts and ways of making yourself feel better if you're not feeling good already. So thank you, Lavender. You're a sweetheart.
So are you all. I love all my lovies. I really do. I just love being with all you guys. You just make. I come in happy anyway inside my heart that I'm happy-fied for the total 2 hours I'm on the call, and then when I listen to it again later, I'm happy-fied again. And especially in these crazy times, I need to be happy-fied. So I just turn on my friends and listen to you, and I do it a lot.
Awesome.
Because it gives me that boost, that energy, that love feeling that all my lovies that are on the call and, all my other moderators are just pouring in and receiving. It's an incredible current, and I just love feeling it. So that's why I'm happy-fied, really happy-fied.
Aw, that's awesome.
So thank you, my lovies, and happy birthday to all of you. And I just want you to know you're a blessing in my life, and I look forward to this every Sunday because of you all.
Oh,
There you go.
thank you, sweetheart. That's really marvelous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm gonna read the news before I have to go.
Okay.
So this is Restored Republic via GCR update as of February 23rd, 2020, compiled by Judy Byington, who has all kinds of letters after her name. She's a retired therapist, journalist, author, and she's a pretty amazing lady. Anyway, Judy's note as of Saturday, February 22nd, it appeared that all intel had been ordered dead silent, and no one except the Chinese elders and higher-ups in the reset process appeared privy as to when the 800 numbers would be released. However, we all had the ability to do deductive reasoning, and such suggested that we have been told that mass arrests would begin at the same time as the release of the 800 numbers. Because of the many politicians believed to be charged in the over 140,000 sealed indictments filed in federal courts across the nation, their mass arrests would likely have to at least start before the presidential primary elections on Super Tuesday, March 3rd. We have also been told that Zim redeemers would have 10 days to redeem once the 800 numbers are released. Counting back 10 days from Super Tuesday, March 3rd, gave you a possible 800 numbers release date of Sunday, the 23rd of February, which is today. And I've been looking for it all day, by the way. Whenever the 800 numbers release occurred, we knew we were close because last week, HSBC and other banks announced a switch over to the quantum financial system. The new massive cybersecurity center, Cyber New York City, was activated. On Sunday, the 16th, the fiat U.S. dollar was bankrupted. On Monday, the 17th, the Chinese elders released the GCR funds, that's Global Currency Reset Funds. On Tuesday, the 18th of February, paymasters were flown into various cities so as to be in position for the reset. On Wednesday, the 19th of February, the new U.S. Treasury notes became gold-backed. On Thursday, the 20th of February, paymasters received 2% in advance payments. There was confirmation of dragon bond exchanges by the International Monetary Fund. Bank derivatives were paid off with the gold-backed U.S. Treasury notes, and the U.S. and China Treasuries signed off on a rate for the U.S. Treasury note. All last week, the U.S. dollar index had been speeding towards 100, and a stock market crash expected on Friday, the 21st. However, that very Friday, the U.S. dollar index suddenly made an abrupt turn downward into free fall, suspected to have happened because the U.S. dollar was now on the gold standard. And there's a link, www.investing.com/currency/US-dollar-index-streaming-chart, and that's a really nice streaming chart for the U.S. dollar index. Philip Tilton. The use of the U.S. boss of a local paymaster called my client and said that the RV has started. Clients would start receiving funds next week. I have 7 confirmations from the highest levels that the RV has started, all good for next week. Mark Z, and he's a guy I listen to most often because he's the most logical, down-to-earth, reasonable, yet friendly guy I've run across in this entire process. So if you guys, he streams on Twitch and YouTube Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. If you want to catch one of his streams, it's a really amazing stream it's kind of like this call, except that he does all the talking. Mark Z. All of Mark Z's sources, including bankers, seem to think that the 800 numbers released was Friday, while he believed it would be over the weekend or early next week. I think it's going to be early this coming week. A contact claimed that packages were set to go out Friday, so we'll see tomorrow whether or not those packages went out over the weekend, and that was CMKX and Farms Claims and some of the sovereign Indian nations and a couple other things that I can't remember off the top of my head. And Bruce says, Bruce is kind of a strange guy. I mean, but sometimes he puts out good info. All U.S. gold was repatriated by Wednesday, the 19th of February, and then U.S. currency was declared gold-backed. On that same Wednesday, the 19th of February, sovereign groups, Indian, farm claims, church groups were paid out, although we don't know whether or not that's confirmed. Wednesday evening, special customers of Abbott, Downing, and Wells Fargo received 50,000 emails to do their appointments. The next day, on Thursday, the 20th of February, the U.S. and China Treasury signed off on a rate for the U.S. Treasury note, and Tier 3 safekeeping receipts were paid. On that same Thursday, 20th of February, derivatives were paid off with gold-backed U.S. note. One U.S. Treasury source said this could happen at any moment. And then there's another guy that I've never run into before, but I actually have run into him before, but I've never paid much attention because he's very difficult to find. And his moniker is Dinar Angel. On Monday, the 17th of February, the Admiral confirmed that the Chinese elders had released funds out of Hong Kong. The global redemption part of the program officially started on Wednesday, the 19th, and Tier 3 went liquid on Thursday, February 20th. Paymasters received 2% in advanced payments, and 50,000 special Wells Fargo customers were contacted for their appointments. This week, Zim notes were bought and paid for in preparation for redemption, and there was confirmation of Dragon Bond exchanges by the International Monetary Fund. Next, the sovereigns were to be paid, which would have paved the way for us to be going in. The process began at 10 a.m. on Thursday, February 20th, and hopefully our tier will begin by Friday, but it didn't, so we're kind of hoping for Monday or Tuesday. Isaac, which is a contact of Mark Z, he's also a paymaster. I have a safekeeping receipt and received a call confirming liquidity was February 19th and expected to fly back to Zurich on Thursday, 20th of February. And I don't know if he has or not. And Tony from TNT, apparently Tony's position was that GCR would not happen until the Iraqi parliament voted on their budget and the new Iraqi dinar rate. This was based on the assumption that the Iraqi dinar was still the kingpin of the GCR relief, which, by the way, I don't think it is, and neither do very many other people. Iran military in Iraq were successfully delaying that parliament vote with the next possible date for a vote set for the 23rd, today. And let's see, anything else I want to read out of this? There's quite a bit more, but the Q drops. There's been a lot of Q drops lately, and he's on. He does his drops on 4chan and or 8chan. I think 4chan probably. So February 20th, there's quite a bit from February 20th. Federal Reserve ending, Q. You have come far, Anons, patriots. You are ready. Prepare for the storm. Project Looking Glass equals Alice in Wonderland equals Hillary Clinton equals Clinton Foundation equals Pizzagate equals Trump's war on international child trafficking, believed to be the beginning of mass arrests.